And all the different stuff that we do on a daily basis or just on a periodic basis, there's a lot of different values and lessons to be learned from them. It could be anything ranging from trying to learn a new instrument on a daily basis or just trying to develop a new skill. There's a lot of hidden values that go into it. And when I first started working out, I wasn't really going in with the mindset that I'm going to learn all these new values and all these hidden skills and qualities that it's going to help develop for me. In fact, I wasn't even really aware that it was teaching me all this stuff until recently that I looked back upon it and reflected upon the journey that I've been on with working out and everything that it's taught me along the way. When I first started working out, I used to be one of the skinniest kids in my school, and I wasn't really a big fan of that. And basically my mindset for starting to work out was I don't want to be the skinniest kid out there, and I want to get big, and I want to be bigger than everyone else. And that's one of the first things that I would say I've come to realize is don't compare yourself to other people, compare yourself to yourself. It's not you versus somebody else, it's you versus who you were yesterday. We all start for different reasons, whether that's working out or starting a business or starting a new job or going to college. There's several different reasons, but the reason we started and the reason we're pursuing something may be different than someone else because we all have different values and goals that we're trying to achieve in life. So what I'm trying to achieve in the gym might be different than the next person or the next person because we all have different goals and what we're trying to achieve in life. It takes a lot of time and practice to not compare yourself to other people and try to compare yourself to yourself and look at the progress that you've made, whether that be at the gym or in a business or something that you're pursuing. You got to focus on who you were yesterday and who you are today and that you're getting closer to your goals, and do your best to not compare yourself to other people because you see them make better progress than you or faster progress than you. Because another thing that I've learned in the gym is that it takes time and patience to get to where you want to go. It's not going to happen overnight. And when you look at yourself in the mirror every day, you're not going to see those gains. And even after a year, you still won't see those gains because you're looking at yourself in the mirror consistently every single day. So what I like saying is take a picture when you first start working out, because over a year span and looking at yourself in the mirror, you're not going to notice those changes. But if you take that picture at the start and then at a year, you're going to really notice those changes. So one thing that I like to do is write in a journal, and then you're able to reflect back on how far you've progressed, say with your business or whatever else it is. It's just that stuff in life takes time and patience, and it's not going to happen overnight. And same thing that goes with working out. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a long process that you're going to have to put in the work each and every single day. And then there are going to be days where you don't even feel like working out or going to the gym, and you're going to have to try and push yourself to find that motivation. And these days are going to come up no matter what you're doing, and you're going to have to try and find that motivation to find that next gear, to be able to push yourself when you don't have that motivation to go to the gym or whatever it is you're working on. There are going to be several days when you don't feel like doing it, and you're going to have to find that motivation within you to push yourself to maybe get that extra 15 minutes or 30 minutes of working or blogging or whatever it may be. And there's so much more that goes into it with working out, and it's not just going to the gym and having a good workout and being consistent. You got to have a good diet, you got to have good sleep routine, you got to be able to drink enough water, and there's so much other stuff that goes into it that you don't really see, and it's all that behind the scenes effort. And you take big companies, say like Apple, you don't see all that behind the scenes effort where Steve Jobs was working really hard and working up business deals. You just kind of see that end product. And that's kind of where the story of the overnight success comes from, because you don't see all that hard work that went into before they came out to where they are today. They put in all that extra effort before, and now it's starting to pay off because it didn't happen overnight for them. It's maybe 5 or 10 years later, and now it's starting to build up over time, and that hockey stick kind of goes up, and they're at a point where you think that it's an overnight success, but you don't really see the behind the scenes effort and the years and preparation that it took to get them to where they currently are today. And with people saying that they're an overnight success and they're kind of hating on them, they don't really see all that extra work in, but there's always going to be haters there, and you're either going to have to block them out and not listen to them, or use them as fuel and prove them wrong down the road. I remember this one time I was working out in the gym and I was still fairly new, and I was incline benching, and I didn't really have much weight on there. I think I only had about 95 pounds on there. And this one guy asked me if I was using it, and I was like, yeah. And then he kind of walked away and he was talking to his buddy, and I heard him say that there should be a minimum weight that you should have to use on the incline bench in order to use it. And now that I've been working out for so long, I was able to build up the weight that I was starting out at, and now I'm well over what he said before, but that just kind of kept me going. So whenever someone hates on you, just know that you're probably doing something right, and to just keep going, block those haters out, and use them as motivation just to prove them wrong down the road. And another big factor that you're going to see in the gym and life and business is failure. Failure is going to be all around you at the gym, where you're going to be lifting a weight and you're not going to hit it. And it might just be because you didn't have good preparation leading up to it, where you didn't have a good week, or you didn't get enough nutrition, or you didn't get enough sleep. And there could be several other factors leading up to why you weren't able to get that lift. And typically when you don't end up getting that lift, you're not just going to be like, oh man, I didn't get that, I'm going to quit the gym or something like that. You're just going to be like, I'm going to train harder for next time. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be able to get this the next time, and I'm going to prepare. And maybe next time you're going to come back in a week or a month and you're going to try and hit that lift again. And maybe you're going to get it, maybe you're not, but you're still not going to quit, where you're just going to keep trying to persevere, and you're going to keep taking those small action steps to make sure that next time you do get it, you're going to do your best to get that lift. And it's the same thing with life, where you might fail, or you probably will fail a lot. And you don't want to be like, oh, I'm just going to quit and it's never going to happen, and just end up giving up just because you failed once. Failure is going to be a huge part of your life and businesses and whatever other ventures that you pursue. You just got to make sure that you're persevering. You're going to take those steps to overcome it the next time, and you just don't want to end up quitting on it just because you failed once. As with most things that we do in our lives, there's going to be little lessons throughout the whole journey that we might not even realize, just because they're sprinkled in here and there, and they're so little and we don't typically pay attention to that. Like with working out, I'd never really realized the impact that the habits it was building, the drive, the motivation, and so much more that it was building for me, until you actually take that step back and you look at it and you see all the processes and everything that it's teaching you along the way. It's those little actions that we take on a daily basis that shape us into who we are and who we're going to become in the future. Whether that be for the gym for you, or you're learning an instrument, an entry-level job, or any level job for that matter. It's those little actions that we take for those things that you do. So if you end up taking a step back and you look at those things that you've been doing, it's all those little actions that have built up in there, and it's been teaching you all these little lessons along the way that you may not have even realized. And look at your progress and all the accomplishments that you've achieved. And as always, thanks for watching, and let's level up.